Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. It is a great honor to introduce our roundtable community to Michelle McLain. Brand yourself to win, the great marketing guru behind the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Michelle, welcome back to the conference.
Thank you. It's so great to be back here. You are too kind. This is always such an exciting event. So I'm glad to
Michelle,
be here.
I don't think people realize or know everything that you do. I'm not sure that everybody knows who you are. So if it's okay, take us back to the beginning. Who is Michelle McLain and what does she do?
Oh my goodness! I swear, some days I don't even think I know everything that I do. I'm I'm kind of a jack of all trades in the branding world. But long story short, I came into the car industry in 2001 at 18 years old as a salesperson and kind of worked my way up through the ranks in sales, finance, management, the whole nine yards. I spent about 13 years of my career with Subaru. And in 2014, I decided to take a gigantic leap of faith and said, hey, I'm doing all this branding and marketing that's cutting edge for the dealership I was at. And I decided I wanted to do it for every dealership in the country. And that kind of moved me into a new space of really just trying to do brand strategy and design and all the things to help pretty much every type of business. And so that's what I do. I like to refer to myself as someone who helps businesses and entrepreneurs brand themselves to win. And we do that through a variety of channels, creative content, strategy, all types of things. And the Roundtable just happens to be one of the biggest things that I do. It's my baby, and super proud to be a part of this.
And when you do, Michelle McLain. So I didn't really appreciate the importance of a brand until I met Michelle McLain. Tell us a little bit of the backstory. Why is it important to have a brand and establish that? And take our audience through that if you don't mind.
No, absolutely. There's a saying, a quote by Jeff Bezos, and you can love or hate the guy if you will. But there's a saying that he says, your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. And that's such a poignant statement because that really kind of encompasses exactly what a brand is. A lot of people have a misconception that your brand is just what your logo is or your colors or things like that. But your brand is actually what is telling the story in creative about who you are and what you do, and most importantly, why people should be doing business with you. So when you're working towards creating a brand, it's really important that there's a lot of symmetry, that there's cohesiveness, and that it's telling the message to your audience of this is who I am, and this is why you should come and follow me, or why you should do business with me. And so when we create everything for the Roundtable, it's super important that we make sure that we're focused on exactly what our audience wants, that we're giving them the right information. But along that, we're also telling the story about Fixed Ops. We're telling the story about the Roundtable, and we're showing people exactly what it takes to build a winning brand. And we've done such an amazing job with that. We've grown so much. I mean, I remember back in 2018, some of the initial content that we were putting out and putting together, and I even laugh at it myself because it's really been, I think, a learning process for both of us, right, Ted? We've kind of learned as we've gone along the way and seen what's worked and what doesn't, and we've changed some things up, and we're constantly looking to evolve and grow this event. So it's been super fun getting to be alongside and do that with you.
So, Michelle, do you think having that brand has been a contributing factor, let's say, to the success of this event and to others as well?
110%. The thing with brands is that you have to be consistent, right?
Okay.
Consistency is key in
Yeah.
anything that you do. And unfortunately, I see it all across the board, that people are putting out content, whether it's inspiration and motivation, education, whatever that looks like. And it's always different every single time that I see something. And that's not to say that you can't switch things up from time to time and, you can't do some unique things. But generally speaking, as a business, you want to make sure that you really have something that's clean, something that's consistent, and that's something that when people see a piece of your content, they automatically resonate that with you, your brand, your story, and they know exactly what they're going to get every single time that they engage with a piece of your content, they do business with you, or they happen to come to an event that you're going to be speaking at.
So you and I have had to pivot a couple times the last few years. This started off Fixed Ops Roundtable as a physical event, and a couple years ago that changed. Um, what do you think helps set the roundtable apart from other industry events, whether they are in person or whether they're in a virtual world like this?
I think the biggest differentiating factor of our event versus others, number one, it's just the people.
Okay.
We see so many of the same faces, and not that I don't love all of those faces. There's a
You do.
general, if you will, influencer, I guess, group of us that are in automotive. We have an amazing tribe of people. But the one thing that I noticed a lot of the in-person events and even virtual is that it's always the same people. It's the same speakers. It's the same speeches. It's the
Okay.
same thing that you've learned at 10 other events. And when you come to the roundtable, you are going to get such a wide variety, a diverse array of people, all the way from retail to the fixed op side. You're going to get
Mhm.
managers, you're going to get OEMs, you're going to get all different types of people with all different backgrounds. And so I really think that the people that not only speak at our event, but the people that attend our event is really what makes it what it is. And we really do try to go the extra mile to have fun with it, to encourage people to come out with their personalities, with all of the different themes. I remember when we first started, we really didn't have any themes. It was from number one and number two and number three and number four.
Isn't that a
And
theme?
right.
I
And,
would think
I
so.
think
Yeah.
when COVID hit, we had one of two directions that we could take. We could have either stopped the event altogether,
Right.
or we had to make a massive shift. And although neither one of us knew exactly what was going to happen by switching to a virtual event, I really believe that this is what's taken us off. From the comfort of their own home, people now are dressing up in roaring 20s outfits and cowboy hats, and people's personalities are really getting the opportunity to shine through. In fact, some people like myself or, others in
Mhm.
the automotive industry that maybe have not had the experience or the know-how or wherewithal to take an actual stage in person. Maybe they're not prepared for that,
Sure.
but this gives them the opportunity to shine. It lets them be themselves. It
Good
lets their
point.
personality come through.
Good point.
And it's a whole group of camaraderie. And I think that's what makes our event so amazing.
So I want you to think back, Michelle, the last couple years. Is there a memorable moment that stands out to you in roundtable history that you'd want to share with the audience today?
There have been so many incredible moments throughout the years, and I can't really say that there's like one pinpointed event. But I will say, I think probably the most memorable thing for me was when we did the Viva Las Vegas. And it was funny because you and I were still kind of getting to know one another. I was learning you, you were
Mhm.
learning me, and we were learning kind of how to work with one another. And I remember bringing up the idea, and I said, Ted, I think we should theme this event and call it Viva Las Vegas. And you went, like, gasp. You're like, wait a minute, no, this is,
Oh,
and I
heavens, no.
I said, Ted, just trust me on this. I said, it's going to be fun. It's going to bring a lot more of an audience. And I think that was really the pivotal moment, really with shifting the roundtable. Just kind of when I started to learn and understand how you thought and what you visualized, and then you understood how my creative brain worked, that it never stopped. When those two
Yeah.
things met a crossroads, everything changed for the roundtable event, and it was monumental.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. Okay, so we've been now, Michelle, in this virtual space for some time, since that event that you just mentioned. And a lot of people think, virtual event, um, I didn't have maybe the best experience at some other virtual event. Will I be able to network and collaborate, among the other attendees and speakers, or is that prohibited here? Or, give us a little insight on how that works.
I think that's probably one of the coolest things about the roundtable is, number one, the networking opportunities are just immense. We always have our chat open, and you're able to actually connect. And what I love about it is that our speakers are engaged just as much as our audience. Nobody's
Yeah.
really off limits. And I think sometimes that when you end up, at these live conferences, there are people that you want to connect with, maybe they're bigger names, things like that. And either A, you're kind of afraid, you're intimidated, you're like, oh, I don't know this person, I'm afraid to just walk up and shake their hand. But the really cool thing about all the speakers, it doesn't matter whether, it's a Brian Benstock or a Tully Williams or a Ted Ings. Like, it doesn't matter who is speaking. They're just as equally engaged. And I think it's leveled the playing field for the networking opportunities. And I can tell you from personal experience, this event has literally taken my career in directions I never could have imagined. It has grown my network in unbelievable ways. It has helped me to rub elbows with some of the finest, best, and brightest minds in the automotive space, all the way from GMs and owners, even to some celebrities. And I
Yeah.
don't think that you get that at a whole lot of other events. So we really try to keep this intimate. Even though we have lots of people that show up, the people that show up, like I said, both our speakers and our audience, everybody's on the same mission to move forward. As I say, we rise together. And it really just kind of
Oh.
opens the doors and opportunities for you to connect with some of those people that maybe you wouldn't have had the opportunity to connect with prior to you.
We're speaking today to Michelle McLain. Brand yourself to win. She is a branding expert, and she is the marketing guru behind the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Michelle, in looking back, okay, over the last several events, what kind of feedback have you heard from attendees at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, or people within the industry who may not have attended, but saw some of the marketing that you have helped create? What have you heard?
I think the greatest testament to our success is when somebody posts something on social media, right?
Mm,
Or somebody is changing their profile picture to one of the frames that I've created, or they're sharing one of their speaker promos that we've, come up with. And the feedback is just, it's always been tremendous. Like I said, people love the event, not just because of the networking opportunities, not because of all of the knowledge and the amazing speakers that we bring, but the biggest amount of feedback that I've gotten from this event is, Michelle, this was fun. Every time I've been to another event, whether it's a virtual or an in-person event, I think people are kind of just so used to that regimentation of speaker, then we have lunch, and speaker, and then we do this, or speaker, and then, we have our cocktail hour, whatever it is. And while that's all fine and good, and it's fun on its own level, I think having the ability, like I said, for people to just let their personality shine through here, really, they have a fantastic time when they come to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. It's different, it's unique. We have a different theme for every event, which allows people, to participate in that as much or as little as they would like. But what I've really found is that since we've been doing these themed events, the amount of people that are showing up and they're posting their photos in their cowboy hats, or they're posting their
yeah.
photos like we did the Roaring 20s with their boas. Like, for me personally, that Roaring 20s event was so much fun because it allowed me to, in some respect, kind of step out of myself and be something or someone else for a day.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
don't get that a lot in automotive, right? We're either in the dealership or we're behind the scenes or we're working on projects. And I just think that this gives people an opportunity just to really have a whole lot of fun with it and make it whatever they're going to make it. And it's been amazing. It really has.
And there's a lot of groups I've noticed that get together, maybe not all conferences like this, that are not quite as positive as we are and forward looking, and that also strikes me, and how we've been able to keep the tone of the conversation in such a positive light, and helping people build that career, reestablish a career in some cases, and really expand, their own sites. And it's been really amazing to watch also the transformation in some people in, just a couple years, what they've done on the roundtable. So, you
You
know,
ditch the click when you come here. And I
ooh, I
that's the
like
one
that.
thing
Ditch the
I
click.
tell
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm very fortunate and blessed. I've
Mm.
always been one of those people that I don't care what your title is. I was kind of raised to treat the CEO and the janitor exactly the same. And that's just my philosophy. I bleed it. But there are certain cliques within this industry. And I think
Yeah.
that can make it really intimidating for some people. Like I said, when you go to an in-person event, maybe you're brand new to the industry and you don't know some of these people, or
Right.
you're intimidated or afraid to approach them. And here we don't do cliques. It's literally just one group of amazing people all working towards the common goal of being successful, wanting to share their experience and their insights. And each person that comes here genuinely has a heart to try and help other people. And I think that's so incredibly important, especially in this day and age. Take even automotive out of it. It's just a group of people who genuinely want to see you win. I want to see you win. Ted wants to see you win. Every
Hmm.
speaker that comes here wants to
Want to
see
win.
you win.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many wins I've personally taken from the
Oh.
roundtable and how many other wins I've seen other people walk away with. The connections, the opportunities. A lot of people have been placed in careers because they've shown up to
Mhm.
this event that they never would have had an
Yeah.
opportunity to.
Yeah. That's right.
it's pretty incredible, and it makes an incredible impact on our community and our world, and it's unbelievable to be a part of.
Oh, we're very grateful to Michelle. If you're watching today and you don't have to be a dealer, okay? If you want to build your own brand, whether it's your company, whether it's you in person, there's nobody better than Michelle McLain to help you do that. The Fixed Ops Roundtable is a testament to that. She has helped build this brand and take it to entirely new heights. Looking forward, Michelle, I can't imagine where the next couple months and beyond years where this is going to go and what that brand will include.
I have so many ideas, and I think, Ted, that's really why I love working with you so
Oh.
much. And it's not to discount any client that I have. I mean, I bleed what I do, and I will do pretty much anything that I can to help somebody rise. But the thing is with you, the reason I think we work so incredibly well together is because at some point, like I said, I think it was that Viva Las Vegas event, you kind of came to the understanding and said, okay, I just have to let her do her thing. Right. And I think that's honestly where a lot of people fall short. I think it's
Mm.
where a lot of people hold themselves back. I believe that it was Steve Jobs that said, we have to hire the best people that we can find, and then we have to get out of their way.
Mm. Mhm.
And so often I find that people will come to me and they say, I want to build a brand, or I have this idea. I don't know where to start. I don't know what the vision looks like. And I'm really intentional when I'm working with somebody in trying to create something that's going to put them in the light. And when you hire somebody, that's probably the biggest piece of advice I could give to anyone. If you're looking to grow your brand, you need to find somebody that knows how to grow a brand, someone who's done it, they've grown a brand, and then just let them do their thing. And it's not to say you can't give creative feedback. Ted and I go back and forth all the time sometimes on some of the creative content, the fonts, I mean, anything that we do. But at the end of the day, I think that's probably why you and I work so well together, is because I've taken the time to understand and know what it is that you expect, what it is that your vision is, what you like, what you don't like. And on the other side of that, you've given me the creative freedom and control to take everything that I've learned from you and then build that out creatively. And
Mm.
it just works.
Everybody reach out to Michelle, michellemclain.com. She will help you build your brand. She's got a great recommendation from everybody here at the Roundtable. So, Michelle, on behalf of the Fixed Ops community, thank you for all that you do for our industry.
Well, thank you. It's truly an honor and pleasure to be a part of this incredible event. And I can't wait to see where we go in the future with it.
Michelle McLain, everybody, brand yourself to win. Visit her at michellemclain.com. Michelle McLain here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.